in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through? For you, 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 won't you let the light shine through? In the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through? For you, for you, for you, for you, for you, for you, for you,
Hello and welcome to Art 101 with Donald Trump. This is the first episode and probably the only, because I don't care about making any of these. But today we're going to go over the timeline of how the Earth was created. And it's some very beautiful art drawn by me, and only me, this guy right here. So yes, we will go do that right now. And it is very long. And it goes all the way across my kitchen floor, where I cook all of my beans and stuff. So we will go over it now. So make sure to enjoy, else then I will build a wall, so you cannot enjoy anything anymore. Okay, so here's the timeline now. So it goes all the way over there, so it is quite a waste of time. But we start off with the Big Bang, brought to you by the CW. And it just goes right there and creates all the planets. They are gray right now because Donald Trump does not exist right now. And then this is a volcano. I'm pretty proud of my lava here. It looks pretty dank. And then there's some rocks coming out of the top because no one really cares. That is actually Papa Hitler being made right there, and that is me being made right there. I am higher because I have more power. These are the asteroids falling. This is when the Transformers came down. As you can see, That is something made by Michael Bay. I don't like him, but he's Michael Bay, so he has lots of power and explosions. And but there's no lens flares at this time because J.J. Abrams was not born yet. Then moving on, we have a geyser, which you can barely see, but that does not matter because geysers are in Yellowstone, and Yellowstone is going to blow up and probably end this world. And then next is the Precambrian ages, which is another age that no one really cares about. It is when volcanoes and meteorites and collisions happened all the time, kind of like the nukes, and all that jazz. But we have this planet. I don't know what this planet is. I don't really care. Next to this other one, which I also don't really care, because they are both destroyed, and no one really knows what these even are. So there's this asteroid hitting this planet here, and that planet is getting absolutely wrecked. And then there's this one which the asteroid has already went through, but it is not completely exploded yet, because Donald Trump has not allowed it, and only things that get allowed by Donald Trump are allowed. The stars here are made, and lots of them are in the Milky Way, so I also made this Milky Way. It blocks out a lot of the stars, but that does not matter because stars explode all the time. And basically there's tons of stars, kind of like the North Star, which that is a company of four-wheelers that I have to ban because people have learned how to grapple up walls with them. And Archean heat dissipated, and crystal blocks began to survive. So I drew basically like a crystal block, which is pretty much like the Tesseract from those Marvel movies that don't make as much money as Donald J. Trump. And then a crystal flying out of it with some nice shading because I have enough power to do that. And then the Pyrozoic, I don't know how to pronounce these and I don't really care. But then we go on, that is Ebola right there. Very good disease. It gets the job done. And then and then this is I don't know what it is, but I see it on a lot of science posters. I'm just calling it vitamin D. I even drew some nice texturing to make it look more 3D and mushy like your Flintstones gummies. And some nice shading, so it looks very good. Looks like something off of Jimmy Neutron, if any of you kids remember that. These are whatever this disease is. It's probably like a cold, maybe H1N1 or something. They might be little germs, like in the kids' snot on their crayons. But they are all furry, and they kind of look like furry jelly beans or boogers, like the jelly beans that you lick, and they fall out of your mouth while you were chewing them under the couch and get all hairy. So you just leave them under there because you don't want to touch that because that is gross. And then this is the final thing before we were all born. And these periods were very big, so they took up this whole thing. And then this is all the rest of the time on Earth, including our time as humans. The dinosaurs existed in this time right here. And this is all of Earth's time, including humans and dinosaurs. This stuff is all just Earth being creative, like asteroids and all that good stuff that is probably going to end the world as well. So this is a plant. We still have these days, but not much of them left because us humans like to pollute a lot, and we get rid of a lot of the plants. So we don't really care about those anymore, obviously. And then this is a river, which we also like to pollute a lot. As you can see, it has some shine. And we got these two little dirt tracks that all of the unhealthy people can run down. And then this is the one that way. It's just kind of like, it looks like bleach. It is very shiny and turns things white. And yeah, that is the river. And then we move on, and you can read this and pause it because I don't really care about reading this to you guys. But it is present day right there, which is when I win the election. Hopefully, and then all the times with the dinosaurs and the humans and everything before that. So that is all of the timeline before it. Hopefully you guys cared enough to see this, but if not, I do not really care. So yeah, that is that. So now let's finish off episode 1 of Art 101 with Donald J. Trump. Okay, so that is it for Art 101, for episode 1 of Art 101 with Donald J. Trump. Sorry my voice has changed, but it's because I got this nice tan, and I am even more orange than ever. And it made my head even smaller. So that is what it is. And I hope you like the art. And now on with the episode, if you guys care to watch all the way through this episode, because it's probably like 35 minutes. So yeah, so if you do watch, make sure, I thank you so much. And yeah, make sure to like and subscribe so we can get higher. And yeah, thank you for watching. Donald J. Trump out. Congratulations, you played yourself. Back to the episode by Bren World, and today is Daylog 29, almost to 30. That will be next episode, of course. And yeah, so it's Daylog 29. I wrote myself a long list a few days ago just so I can make this video as short as possible. Just so I can get through it quicker since I already know what else I'm going to talk about, and I wrote down all the dates. That way I can tell you guys the dates that everything that I'm going to talk about and show happened and everything. And yeah, because as you guys know, if you were still watching till now, thank you so much. I imagine that you probably would, because the video right now is already about like 11 minutes or so. So it's already getting somewhat long. But yeah, so if you're still watching till now, thank you so much, but I'm pretty sure you probably are, because those first 11 minutes were probably pretty entertaining. I mean, like, yeah, so this is like that. So hopefully you enjoyed those first 11 minutes, but basically I'm not going to, like, get too in-depth with that, because you've already seen them. But, yeah, so that timeline project was just a science project that I worked on with my friend Will and a few other people. And, yeah, so I just did that, and that was my timeline thing, and I was showing it in my big brother's, Donald Trump mask, and then there's that clip of me in my big brother's bubble suit for his Halloween costume thingy, and then the other clips were my Halloween thing, from my Halloween 2016, and, yeah, so that was really fun riding around on my Easy Roller and everything. Turned all Australian right there on my Easy Roller. So, yeah, so basically, this is a list here, so I'm going to go through, so I don't think it's in order, but basically, you guys saw the thumbnail. It's probably the most crowded and just chaotic thumbnail I've ever made. It has the most stuff on it, and the reason I included it in the beginning of this vlog is because you guys, in the regular thumbnail, you probably couldn't see much of it. So yeah, so I just put it in there just so you could see what all was on there and what it was, and just to show you what was coming up in the stay vlog, so some of you are hopefully hopefully I convinced you to watch all the way through today's video. And so yeah, so I am actually filming this. I'm filming not this whole video. Of course those beginning clips, the first 11 minutes, I didn't go through all of those, but you guys have already seen them, so hopefully you guys liked the first 11 minutes. But of course the first 11 minutes I filmed over a few days, like some on the day before Halloween, some on Halloween and everything. But this section that I'm filming right now, that you guys are watching right now, I am filming on Friday, November 4th, 2016. But so of course the first 11 minutes were just over a few days. This is on Friday, November 4th, but I will end this video on November 5th, because you guys would have saw the Doctor Strange poster on the thumbnail, and that is because you guys know I always, like, on all my videos where I do reviews on movies, when I go and see them in theaters, I put the poster, like, as the biggest thing on the thumbnail, and that's what I did on this thumbnail. And also, like, when I get movies on DVD, they'll usually be, like, the biggest thing on the thumbnail. But the reason they weren't this time is because, first off, I was showing that I got more DVDs, and I'm doing a review, the review is probably what most of you are most interested in as of right now, because it is for Doctor Strange, of course, and also the other reason is I had lots of DVDs. I couldn't put them all big. I bought tons of DVDs. It's the most DVDs I've ever bought, but we will talk about that in a second. So yeah, so that's the reason why I'm doing it tomorrow. Of course, today's November 4th, Friday, 2016, so as you guys know, Doctor Strange came into theaters today. But as you guys know, like, every single movie I go and see in theaters, I almost always go and see them on the second day they're in theaters, because really the only movie that's not going to be, like, sold out unless if you buy tickets ahead of time by a while is, like, movies like Nerve or just small budget movies. So yeah, so
Doctor Strange, of course, I mean, it's a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. You'll be lucky if you didn't buy your tickets ahead of time. You will be very lucky if you get into one of the showings on the release day. I'm pretty sure there's only like 5 showings today. So I'm going tomorrow, as always, and yeah, I'm going to see Doctor Strange. So I'm just going to explain this since this will be the final part of the vlog. But basically, I'm going to see Doctor Strange finally. I'm pretty excited for it. I didn't want to see it at first, but it did look better, and it looks pretty darn good now. I've heard quite a bit of good reviews. It's currently sitting at about an 8 star on IMDb, which is decent, but it's only been rated by 27,000 people. I mean, that is a lot, but I mean, like, compared to other Marvel Cinematic Universe that have been rated by hundreds of thousands of people, or maybe sometimes even a million or so. Usually, I'm pretty sure by the time it's done in theaters or released on DVD, it'll probably be down to about the average Marvel Cinematic Universe movie rating, which is usually around a 7.5 or so, which isn't horrible, but I mean, like, it's pretty good. So that will be that. So I am doing a review on Doctor Strange on here, but this is actually one of my most important reviews. So you guys know that over my time on the channel, I don't usually call them reviews, I usually call them giving my thoughts. I've given my thoughts on Nerve, Captain America Civil War, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, Batman v Superman, Natural Born Pranksters, Star Wars The Force Awakens, The Purge Election Year, Deadpool, just quite a few movies. So I'm giving my thoughts on here. But not only that, this review is actually going into the Great Falls Tribune, which is the place that makes the newspapers for where I live, Great Falls, Montana. And my review, as you guys know, a few day vlogs ago, about a month ago, or actually just over a month ago now, I said that I got that email that said I wrote a letter and mailed it to him, and I volunteered to be, or not necessarily volunteered, because I do get paid for like movie reviews and opinion pieces and everything in the newspaper. But so I got in, and I'm a teen panelist. Right now, I think it's a 1 year or 2 year sentence thing so far, or whatever you want to call it. And then I can do more if I want to, which I'm pretty sure I will, because I mean, it's pretty easy, you can get paid and everything, but it's like $25 for opinion pieces and all that, and then $20 for movie reviews. And I just took it easy. We go to meetings on the first Monday of every week, so I have my second meeting coming up this Monday. On the first meeting, I just took it easy, just did one story, which is going to be my review on Doctor Strange. So I'm giving my thoughts on this video, which will be the last thing of this video, and then I am going to do my review in the newspaper, so that's pretty darn awesome. So this review is going to be on my channel and in the newspaper, so that's why this is a pretty important review. So definitely, if you want to see my my review on Doctor Strange, stay until the end, because that will be on the end tomorrow, for you guys in this video. So I'm actually going with Dustin. He was going to spend the night, but he had to go do something instead. But he is going to see Doctor Strange with me still, and he's coming about 12, so we're going to do some stuff for about 2 hours or so. And then we're going to go to the 2 o'clock showing tomorrow, which I believe that is the second showing, which altogether is about, I believe, the 7th or 8th showing in Great Falls, Montana so far, so usually by then it's pretty easy to get in, and I usually go about 12 or 2 the next day, like I've been saying. So I'm going to see Doctor Strange with Dustin. You guys know him, he's been in a few vlogs, just very once in a while. So I'm going to see Doctor Strange with Dustin, and I will give my thoughts on that. I don't think you guys will see him on the vlog, since he's only going to be here for about 2 hours before, and then we're gonna go see the movie, and then pretty much right after, he said he's gonna go walk to his mom's house or whatever, or his grandma's house or whatever he had to do. But I don't know, I might film a clip or something, but I gotta make this video fast. So on to the next part. So definitely stay tuned if you want to see my Doctor Strange review. So on to the next part. Let's see. Show update, movie collection. I think I'll do all this stuff. Okay, let me go. I'll be right back. I'm going to cross off everything that I've talked about so far. Okay, so I have now crossed off everything that I've talked about so far. So as you can see, my masks. If you guys saw the Great Falls High Crosstown video, you would have saw that I wore this mask since we got to dress up like in our Halloween costumes or whatever. And this thing, actually, when I was out marching on the field, once we got done, I kind of poked my drumstick at it. and it just, like, it was off. Like, this part, I talked about it, I believe, in one of the past videos, and the top and bottom pieces were, like, kind of just hanging off. So I super glued them back on, and now it is, like, way more stiff, and it's not really loose at all like it was before. And yeah, it's definitely a lot more durable than when I first bought it, I think so. And for like a day, I couldn't even get in it. I couldn't even put my face in it because I would probably get high or something. Because it smelled so strong of super glue. I couldn't even stick my nose in there. It was so powerful. But it does not smell like super glue anymore. Of course, that's been like 5 days ago. That was like 5 days ago. I think I did that on like Monday or something. So yeah, so I fixed that. I will hang that back up probably after this video. As you guys know, it goes on that little, one of the hooks in my Nerf arsenal. But this is my new mask. You would have saw in the Halloween clips that I got this. And my mom and Bailey were going to Spirit Halloween to buy that bubble suit. And then, like, Bailey wanted some fake blood and, like, this black makeup stuff. And my mom asked me to text her if I wanted anything, and then I memorized something at the last second. So I asked her if you could get me one of the Anonymous masks, which, if you guys know, this is originally designed after the guy named Guy Fawkes, and he was, like, a real guy alive back in, like, the 1600s. And it's called a Guy Fawkes mask, but it was first made. It was first called a Guy Fawkes mask, and the first time it was seen was in the movie V for Vendetta. And then after that, Anonymous pretty much adopted the mask, and they're like hackers that reveal everything the government's doing wrong with like US and everything. So yeah, so it's not a triple strap. I do like those ones better because they stay on your face better, but this one's completely fine still. But this one, that thing, the mesh just gets a little bit wet, but this one I kept on having to wipe out on Halloween because it would literally get like pools of condensation, and it was just crazy. So it's kind of weird. As you can see, it does say V for Vendetta right there and right there. So yeah, so I got one of these masks finally. As I've said in quite a few videos over the time on my channel, I've said I've always wanted one of these masks, just because like I'm a big fan of V for Vendetta and Anonymous and everything, and I just think it's it's definitely probably the most iconic mask, and it's just really cool. So yeah, so I really like that mask, and I don't know where I'm putting that quite yet, but I will hang that back up in my Nerf arsenal once I do. Okay, so now on to pretty much the main part of this video, showing all my new movies. So I will start over here, which kind of gives you an idea of what one of the movies I got, or I guess you could say 3. But this is definitely one of my favorite decorations in my room. I know I hung it up on my Deadpool wall, but I couldn't really fit that anywhere else in here. But also, like, I mean, that can still fit, like, 2 or 3 more Deadpool drawings, and I don't draw them, like, that often anymore, but I have all those ones already. So, I did some Batman stuff right here, and I am glad I did, because it just looks absolutely awesome. But basically, if you guys don't know, this is Ra's al Ghul, Scarecrow, the Joker, Bane, and, Harvey Dent, Two-Face, and then this in the middle is a message from Christopher Nolan, and no, it's not actually signed by him. Of course, like, if that was actually signed by him, like, Christopher Nolan, the director of one of the most successful, if not the most successful trilogy of all time, and the 4th highest rated movie of all time, The Dark Knight, but that's not actually signed by him, because if it was, you could get, like, thousands of dollars selling it on eBay, probably more than that even. But, yeah, so it is copied by him, but that's pretty cool, because, I mean, the original very first one of these, if you think about it, the very first one of these he actually did sign, and then they just copied it, so really this is a copied version of the original, so that is actually him that wrote it, just they copied it, but, yeah, so that is that. It's basically just him talking about, like, his life, and, like, how he brought Batman back, and, like, him directing it, and everything, and, yeah, that's just a picture of him getting filmed or whatever. And, yeah, so I just put that in the middle since he's kind of the, creator of all these. I know he's not the creator of these villains, but he's, like, the creator of how these ones, the Dark Knight trilogy, looks. But they also have some of my most famous quotes for Ra's al Ghul. It's, "Men fear most what they cannot see." Scarecrow is, "There's nothing to fear but fear himself." Joker is, "Some men just want to watch the world burn." Bane is, "Sometimes the pit sends something back." And then, Harvey Dent, Two-Face, is, "See yourself become the villain." Because, like, his full quote is, like, "Live long enough to be the hero," or "See yourself become the villain," or something like that. Yeah, so they are really cool and very creative. This one, I don't extremely like, but it is pretty cool. It has a little, like, vote sign for Harvey Dent. It just says, "Take back Gotham," and then Harvey Dent, or something, or it says Harvey Dent right there. I don't know what that word is, but you can see his face right there. But yeah, so that one's not probably my least favorite. I think Ra's al Ghul is probably my least favorite. But as you can see, I did arrange them how they kind of were, because these were like the two main villains from the Batman Begins, and then of course this had to go in the middle, so I wish I could have put this right there, but that would have looked really weird if it was right there. So these are the two main villains of the Dark Knight, and then this is the main villain of The Dark Knight Rises. So yeah, so put those two together. These two I couldn't really put together, and then that one's just right there. But yeah, so then my favorite one's probably the Joker. It's probably like one of the least creative, but I just really love the Joker, and he is pretty awesome, and the flames look so real, and it just looks really great. And Bane is pretty awesome, so I'll get on to those two in a second. But Ra's al Ghul, he's pretty awesome. Just he's probably my least favorite. All it is pretty much his face kind of in smoke, and that's about it. But so yeah, so that's Two-Face, and that's Ra's al Ghul. But these ones are the cool ones. I already showed you guys Joker. Bane is the second most creative one. As you can see, you can kind of see Bruce Wayne's face right there, and then Bruce Wayne's hands, and then the little bar breathing tube things on Bane's mask are actually the bars for the jail cell that Bruce Wayne was in the pit on The Dark Knight Rises as his mask, so you can't really tell from that far away, but that's pretty creative. But this one, at first, this was probably like my least favorite one, because I was just like, okay, what is this even supposed to be? I think it kind of just looks dumb. But I was looking at it, and I realized it probably about like 6 hours after I bought it, and I just realized it, and I watched like 4 reviews on this movie set, and not a single person said a single thing about it. Like, they're going over these and saying everything. So I know I'm definitely not the first one to realize this, but I'm the first person I have seen on YouTube to say this. But if you guys have this and you don't know what this is, I realized that this is a straitjacket. You know those jackets where they like strap their arms like they're hugging themselves on psychopaths or antisocial personality disorder people. But yeah, so you can actually, I noticed that when I first got it, the little strap, but then I looked at it and I noticed like that's one arm right there, and then that's one arm right there crossing, and then that's like the little neck hole. So yeah, it's a little straitjacket. So then I was just like, oh my god, that is insanely creative. So I realized that, and that became like my second favorite one just after the Joker. Like, that's pretty insane how creative that is. You can see the bugs crawling out of his mouth and everything. So yeah, so if you haven't realized that, that is a straitjacket, but that's very creative. Whoever designed these, it says on the back, but of course I taped them up, but they're pretty darn even, and that just looks amazing, and I love that decoration to death, and it is just awesome. So yeah, so that is my Dark Knight. I just call it like my Dark Knight trilogy, or the Dark Knight trilogy mural, and it's basically just got all the main villains from the whole Dark Knight trilogy, and then the message from Christopher Nolan. So that will be in the background of all my videos from now on. So hopefully you guys like that, and I will go on to the movies now. So yeah, so as you can see, I also went on from the Dark Knight trilogy, and I put these up. So I've had these for a long time. I got this old Batmobile toy thing from the Dark Knight back when it like first came out in like in 2008. And it was just, I used to love that thing, but I got rid of the Batmobile, but I had, like, I still have, like, all my Star Wars action figures and Batman action figures under my bed in a bucket, and I kind of dug these guys out, and they were pretty dusty and everything, so I had to dust them off and everything, but I put them up here because, I'll tell you why in a second, but I put Joker right there. I was gonna make his face better, but this might be worth a lot of money in the near future, since it's the 4th highest rated movie of all time, and Heath Ledger is like the best Joker of all time. But yeah, so Joker, he doesn't look like amazing, but he's still pretty cool. But Batman, he is like spot on, and I absolutely love this action figure, and he looks really, really great. And so yeah, and plus he's a really cool, amazing Batman. So I just put those two together. They look pretty awesome right there. And so yeah, so I just did that as another Dark Knight thing, because you guys know my top 3 favorite superheroes in order is Iron Man, then Batman, and then Deadpool. So yeah, so now moving on to the next part, which is the movies. Okay, so yeah, so I think I'll probably start off with the actual the Dark Knight trilogy. So you guys know on the thumbnail you would have saw this. But since I set up that stuff, and that stuff I'm pretty sure I said a few times on this channel that I don't really like any of the the Dark Knight trilogy movies. I just think they're long and boring. But I completely changed my mind. Batman Begins, I don't know if I've ever seen the full movie, or if I just didn't remember it. The Dark Knight, I know I saw before, I just didn't really remember it. And then The Dark Knight Rises, I just didn't remember a little bit of it, but I just thought I didn't like it. But the weekend after I bought it, I watched all 3 of the movies over that weekend, and I was amazed. I was so happy, and I'll tell you completely why in a second. But first off, all 3 of the movies are amazing. I thought Batman Begins was going to be like super boring, but it was actually really good. The final battle was awesome. And Batman Begins, I rated I rated the whole trilogy 9 out of 10 on IMDb. And yeah, so Batman Begins was amazing. The Dark Knight was my favorite out of the 3. Again, it's the 4th highest rated movie of all time currently on IMDb. And it's just, The Dark Knight was just amazing, and I loved the Joker. That's definitely my favorite Joker, and that was my favorite Batman movie. And The Dark Knight Rises was better than I remember. It was pretty good. It was still kind of long and did get boring at sometimes, but it was really good. But yeah, so in order of those 3 movies from my least to favorite, probably my least favorite out of the 3 is the Batman Begins. Second favorite would be The Dark Knight Rises, but they're just about equal. Just like Dark Knight Rises beats out Batman Begins by like that much. So then The Dark Knight Rises, or The Dark Knight, obviously has my first spot out of those 3. So yeah, so what it is I got the Dark Knight Trilogy Special Edition, and it's not on Blu-ray or anything, but that's the box, so it's awesome. And I got this because it was only $20, and that was one of the best deals of my life. So here is the box right here, and it just has all that stuff on the back, and it's kind of like the Star Wars boxes, like where I got those movies from, but the boxes are upstairs, as I've said a few times. But it just has tons of DVDs in it, and just all of the movies, and then a whole disc just for the special features. So yeah, but why I said it was one of the best deals of my life, it was definitely the best movie deal of my life, and the reason for that is because it was $20, and I got all 3 movies, which are absolutely amazing movies, this awesome box, and all of those came with this. They just came right there. So for $20, I got all of those, the awesome box, 3 amazing movies, like the whole trilogy. So $20, if you have not bought this and it's in stock at some store in your town, I would honestly spend probably as high as like $30 or $40 on that. Like, I think it's worth all the way up to like $40. And of course there's like the Ultimate Edition, which is like a box which comes with like little figurines and everything. But I just got the Special Edition. That wasn't there, but the Special Edition was. So yeah, so that was one of the movies that I got. Of course it counts as 3, but so yeah, so that was one of the movies that I got for my updated movie collection. And then also on the last one of the last videos, I said that Deadpool and Nerve, I was going to watch Nerve that weekend with my mom. And I was going to see who finally took the first spot. As you guys know, I rank my movies, like I've said it tons of times, and I was going to say who was going to take the first spot for my favorite movie, Deadpool or Nerve, and I watched Nerve again, and I just decided I like Nerve better than Deadpool. Deadpool's now my second favorite movie, and Nerve has taken the first spot. I just absolutely love Nerve, so the competition is over. That Nerve is the winner. So yeah, so I put that fourth just mainly because of The Dark Knight, but also they're pretty amazing. But next, I bought, or actually, first off, I'll just show you my updated movie collection. That is that now. So my movie collection's actually getting pretty serious now. As you guys know, last time I showed it to you, it only took up 2 shelves, and then this one was completely full. And then this one just got completely full, or it was like 1 movie left last time I showed it. But now it takes up 2 whole shelves and 4 down here. So it got a lot bigger since last time I showed you. And basically you guys know that and that was on this shelf. And basically I just moved that to right there and that to right there. And I moved those knives that were right there. I just moved those over there, of course. And yeah, so that is my updated movie collection. It's getting pretty darn serious. Because yeah, I'm really into movies right now. I've pretty much always been into movies, but I'm like a huge movie fanatic now and everything. So yeah, so my other new movies is, as you saw in the thumbnail, Life of Pi. I was kind of debating if I wanted this. I used to have it on digital copy before I'd restart my tablet and everything, but this is a really good movie. I think I've seen it like 2 or 3 times throughout my whole life, but it's just like the effects and everything are just absolutely amazing, and it's just a pretty darn good movie. So if you haven't seen Life of Pi, definitely I would recommend watching that. It was only $4.50 at my Target, so it was really nothing. And along with that, I saw this right before I was about to check out, and I was just like, oh, why not? It's only $10. So yeah, so for $10, I also got Jurassic World, and I saw this in theaters with Brayton, and I didn't like absolutely love it, but it was pretty good, and I actually pretty much liked it quite a bit. And so yeah, so it's really good, and it has Chris Pratt, which is like one of my favorite actors, if not my favorite actor. And yeah, so it's a pretty darn cool box. Of course the inside is just the same exact thing, but so yeah, so a pretty cool box. And Jurassic World, I haven't watched Jurassic World or Life of Pi since I got them on DVD yet, but I have seen them a few times before. So yeah, so then some of the last two movies that I got are actually my newest movies. So I'll go over this real quick. So the Dark Knight trilogy I actually got the day after I filmed the last video where I showed my birthday episode, where I showed that I got that $100, and I said I don't really know what else I'm going to buy with it. But the day after that, I was thinking about it for the whole next day, and I was just, after school, I was just like, okay, yeah, I do want that. So then I went to Target and bought that. That was only $20, so I bought that on October 26, 2016. And then the very next day, I went there, and I was kind of thinking over the next day if I really wanted them. So I did. So I went back the next day on October 27th, 2016. That's when I went and bought Jurassic World and Life of Pi. And then Star Trek Beyond and V for Vendetta. I ordered them on Amazon on October 31st, 2016, Halloween night. And then they arrived November 3rd, 2016, so they arrived yesterday. And as you guys know, V for Vendetta is from 2006, so it's pretty old. But Star Trek Beyond just came out on DVD this past Tuesday. So yeah, so I ordered it on Monday night, so the day before it came out, and I just got both of the movies today because I didn't really have to worry about getting them, or getting Star Trek Beyond on the release day, since I couldn't even really watch it till Friday or anything. But basically, I was actually able to watch this on the day that I got it. Yesterday night we watched this. Me, my big brother, or me, Brayton, and my dad watched it. And back when this, of course, 2006 was 1 year before my little brother was born, and I was born in 2001. So yeah, so V for Vendetta and this other movie called Zorro. I used to watch them all the time when I was a lot younger, and I used to love V for Vendetta and Zorro, but I could really not remember V for Vendetta, like, at all, so I really wanted to see it, so I was just like, okay, it's only $4 on Amazon, and free shipping, of course, since I have Amazon Prime, so I was just like, okay, I'll just buy it, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna love it anyway, and it's only $4, so, like, I mean, when you rent a movie, it's usually about $4, so, like, it's pretty much good, but you can see the front cover is really creative and just really awesome, full screen edition. And it's from the creators of the Matrix trilogy, and it has Natalie Portman, Hugo Weaving, which are pretty ginormous actors, and then V for Vendetta, and then that's on the back. That's pretty darn awesome. And then that. So yeah, the main character, of course, is V, and this was that movie that I was just talking about with my mask. V for Vendetta. That's his mask. So V for Vendetta, I saw it before, but I couldn't remember it. But I watched it yesterday, and I loved it. It seemed somewhat long, but it had quite a bit of comedy in it, but the action was amazing, and it was just like, he's definitely one of my new most favorite movie characters of all time, V, because V is just absolutely just awesome, and just really, just completely awesome. And so yeah, so V for Vendetta I really loved. I think I rated it an 8 or 9 on IMDb, and I put it after those ones. So yeah, so I got V for Vendetta, and then the last movie finally is Star Trek Beyond right here. Of course, I put it right here. As you guys know, Star Trek Into Darkness I've had since like a week after it came out on DVD. And it used to be in between Hop and Iron Man 3. But now, as you can see, I moved it in front of those. As you guys know, my movies are ranked in my favorite to least favorite. But the trilogies, or like series, I put them in order. Like Iron Man 3 I like better than both Iron Man 1 and 2. Just I put them in order. So if I didn't, then Iron Man 3 would be before all those. Same thing with these now. So I like Star Trek Into Darkness I didn't like as much as the Iron Man, like Iron Man 3 and everything, so I put it afterwards. But Star Trek Beyond I liked quite a bit more than Into Darkness. So I moved them ahead of the Iron Man trilogy. So yeah, so Star Trek Into Darkness I've had for a while, but Star Trek Beyond I got, and this is the newest movie on DVD that I bought over the past out of all these movies I'm showing you guys now. But yeah, so Star Trek Beyond, it just came out this past Tuesday. Yeah, here it is. The box I absolutely love. Definitely one of my new favorite DVD boxes. And it combined like two of the theater posters together. And you got, can't remember what her, Ayla or whatever her name was, like, or Jayla, I think that's what her name was. She's one of the main characters in here. And then, of course, Captain Kirk and Spock with their little lens flares or whatever, since J.J. Abrams loves lens flares. But there's tons of lens flares in Star Trek Into Darkness. But I can't really remember about the first one, how much lens flares was in that one. But J.J. Abrams absolutely loves them. But this one, there was not that much lens flares in that. If there was, they were like super tiny. So that was pretty awesome. And it just says Star Trek Beyond. And I was pretty amazed with this DVD box, because this is, I believe, the first DVD box I have that this text is blue. Like, I don't think I have any other DVD where it's any other color besides white. Like, it's just weird. Like, you can see, like, that's white, that's white. Like, all the text is white, but, like, even that thing is blue. And even that thing's blue, and all the text is blue, too. So that's just crazy. Like, you can see all those logos and everything are white, and then these ones are blue and everything. So I don't know why they did that, but that's pretty awesome. Like, that's pretty rare, and I think that's, like, the first DVD box I've seen where all that stuff is blue. And then the back, of course, is awesome. I absolutely love this with their, like, new planet thing where it's, like, Doctor Strange or whatever, and all, like, cities just all over the place. And, yeah, and then you got, like, the team right there, which that's just absolutely awesome. And then 3 little scene things, and yeah, so that's the back of it. And then the front, which is like, of course, those 3, and then the USS Enterprise, and then Star Trek Beyond, and then all that stuff. So yeah, so I really like the movie. I actually just got done watching that one. So yeah, so I watched it with my big brother, or my little brother. I watched it with Brayton and my dad. And so yeah, so we all really liked it. I think we all liked it more than Star Trek Into Darkness. And it was really good. I would say, like, the first 2 acts on Star Trek Into Darkness I do like better, but there was this one thing on, like, the first or second act, I would say, on Star Trek Beyond that I did like better than pretty much any scene on Star Trek Into Darkness, which, of course, you guys already probably know this, but if not, there's a slight spoiler. When the USS Enterprise gets destroyed by, like, the little, like, flying things from, Krall, which is the new main enemy on Star Trek Beyond, and they just completely destroy the USS Enterprise. Of course, it's my favorite ship in movie history, and then second would be the Millennium Falcon, of course. But, like, seeing it destroyed did kind of suck. But, I mean, like, it's, I was kind of saying, like, before the movie came out into theaters and everything, I didn't see it in theaters, so I just bought it and was hoping it was going to be good. I was pretty sure it was going to be good. And V for Vendetta and Star Trek Beyond were very good. So, yeah, so... But what I was saying is, like, I was just like, man, this ship gets destroyed in Star Trek Beyond. That kind of sucks, and that I didn't think I was going to really like the movie because of that or anything. But I got so happy at the end, and all of a sudden, if you guys don't want any spoilers, this is slightly a bigger one than the one I just said. So just skip probably about, like, 30 seconds ahead. But at the end, all of a sudden, like, you can see, like, they're, like, building another ship, and then after they're flying, like, the USS Franklin or whatever it was called, and all of a sudden they're, like, building a new ship, and then all of a sudden they built the USS and then it goes to a time lapse, and then they end up building the whole entire USS Enterprise completely back exactly how it was. So the only thing that they changed about it was the NCC 1701, that's on the top. It stayed on the top, but then they also put one on the bottom, and that's all that changed, so now it's on the top and bottom. But other than that, it's the complete same, so I was just like, oh, okay, they destroyed the ship, but at the end, they brought it back. So that just made me happy, and I really love that. So they brought the ship back, and it's not gone, so I'm really happy about that. But the final battle, like, that almost won Star Trek Beyond completely over for me, over Star Trek Into Darkness. Like, that final battle was definitely one of my most favorite final battles of all time, and, like, mainly the first part of it, like, the rest of the final battle, it was pretty good. But, like, the first part of it where Sabotage by the Beastie Boys is playing in the background, and they're flying the USS Franklin, and they're, like, completely, like, have this, like, force field on, they're, like, flying against, like, this, like, wave of those things that destroyed the USS Enterprise in the first place, and they're just, like, going across it, and then, like, they're just blowing them up as they go, and it's just, like, an orange trail of fire and everything, and, like, it's just going, and then they're, like, forming, like, waves. So then basically the USS Franklin is just, like, surfing, and then there's this one scene where they go in like the little like tube waves, like on when people are surfing, they go in the tube waves, and all of a sudden they're just like doing spirals around there, and it was just completely awesome. It was like one of those final battle scenes where you just like get chills down your spine, and it was just awesome. I love that part, and I was just like laughing of excitement and everything. It was just awesome. So yeah, so if you haven't seen Star Trek Beyond, I would definitely recommend it, along with Jurassic World, Life of Pi, V for Vendetta, and the Dark Knight trilogy, and just all of these movies. So that is every single one of my new movies. I posted a picture on Instagram and Twitter, I believe last night, and I said that I think my movie buying streak of over like the past month and a half or 2 months is finally over, because I bought every single one of these movies no longer than like a week apart, over like the past 2 months, ever since like mid-September, which, if you guys don't know, it included Nerve, Captain America Civil War, the Dark Knight trilogy, V for Vendetta, The Purge, Election Year, Jurassic World, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, Life of Pi, and Star Trek Beyond. So I bought all of those movies over like the past 2 months, since like mid-September or so, not like no more than like a week apart from each other. So yeah, so I think it's finally over. I don't plan to buy any movies anytime soon or anything, and I am going to see Doctor Strange, and I think I might buy that on DVD, but it depends on how much I like it, of course, but if I do, it's not going to come out on DVD until probably around February 2017 or so, so I don't think I really have to worry about that yet. So yeah, so that is everything that I have to talk about. If you just want a little recap, that is everything that I talked about in this video. Of course, I'm going to give my thoughts on Doctor Strange in the next scene. So yeah, so that is pretty much it for the first part, so hopefully you guys liked the first 11 minutes of this video, and then everything I had to talk about. So yeah, that is everything that I had to talk about and show. So just a little recap, I showed you guys my new mural thing there, my little that thing right there, my little showcase display thing of the Dark Knight stuff, and on my updated whole entire movie collection, and I gave my thoughts on V for Vendetta, since I don't really remember it, but I've seen it again, and now I own it, and have now remember the whole movie again, and Star Trek Beyond, and yeah, and you saw who won the little competition between Deadpool and Nerve, and so yeah, so hopefully you guys agree with all my movie choices. I actually still have $45, I believe. Actually, I believe I have like 45 or 50. But of course, we get the paychecks at, I believe, the end, like at the last Friday of every month, or like the first Friday of every month. So within the next month, I will be getting my paycheck for doing the review of Doctor Strange, and that's $20, so I'll be making, so I'll be back at 65, and then for my grades, for quarter one of my first year of high school, freshman year, I definitely did a lot better than I ever did, ever since 6th grade, so that's pretty awesome, and I'm really happy about that, and so are my parents. So, I get, like, $10 for every A, but then if I get a D or an F, that takes away $10 from an A, so it just, like, a D or an F kills the A. But I got, on this report card, I just got, like, regular grades, but then, like, for A's, F's, and D's are the ones that really matter. So I only got 1 D, which is actually, for me, that's pretty amazing, and it was a D+, actually, so that's pretty good, for me. But I got 1 D+, but then 3 A's, so I should be getting, once I actually get my actual report card, I believe it's coming in the mail this Monday, I will be getting $20 from that. So I'll be getting $20 for my movie review and $20 for my grades. So that will bump me up to $65, $75. That will bump me all the way back up to $85. So I'm down to $45 after buying all those movies, but then I'll be back to $65 and then back to $85. So really, I didn't even lose that much money for my $100. I'll just make it pretty much all back. And yeah, and then I'll be signing up for some more pieces on my meeting this Monday. And yeah, so that is pretty much it for this scene, but if you guys are done with this episode, you can leave right now if you want to, but if you want to see my my thoughts and my review on Doctor Strange, that scene is coming up right now, so I will see you guys all tomorrow. As of right now, I will see you guys in about a few seconds, but for me, I'll see you guys tomorrow. But yeah, I'm posting this video this upcoming Monday. So yeah, so I'm going to go see Doctor Strange tomorrow, and yeah, I will see you after that, and I'll give my thoughts on that real quick. Then finish off the video. So sorry that this video is going to be so long, but you guys know why. Like, I'm showing you so much stuff and talking about so much stuff, giving my review on Doctor Strange and everything. So yeah, so I will do that tomorrow, And yeah, so that will be the final part of this video. So that is coming up right now. Enjoy. It's the next day, and yeah, so now for the final part of the video, my thoughts on Doctor Strange. So I just got back from the theater about 20 minutes ago, right after the movie. We met up with my mom because she was at McDonald's, and so we just had some McDonald's, but Dustin did come, but he came at 12, and we just like played my drum set, jumped on my trampoline, I showed him my practice pad, and we played that, and we just kind of hung out for like 2 hours. And then we went and saw the movie, and then had McDonald's, and then we came home. So, yeah, so it was pretty fun, and, yeah, so my thoughts on Doctor Strange. I was really surprised, because I remember back when I first heard of it, I, like, never really knew that much about Doctor Strange, and I just thought that he was gonna be, like, a boring character, and, like, I thought, like, and I just thought, like, after seeing, like, hearing about it for the first time, and seeing all those TV spots and the trailers and all that stuff, I just thought that it was going to be, like, really boring and just, like, no comedy or anything. But I was actually really, really surprised, and it was actually because I thought, like, Benedict Cumberbatch, like, Doctor Strange mixed with him, it's like they're both, like, kind of, like, never real, like, that much emotion or something, so I thought it was just going to be pretty boring and not that much comedy. But I was pretty wrong. That was actually probably some of the most comedy ever in a Marvel movie, and there's tons of comedy, and it was pretty good comedy, actually. And then Benedict Cumberbatch is probably one of my favorite parts about this movie, and it was just weird, like, one of the parts that I'm going to write about in my review for the newspaper and everything, is, like, Benedict Cumberbatch, he's usually, like, no emotion, kind of just, like, no comedy, or just kind of a boring, like, he's a really good actor, just I always, like, think that he's, like, kind of boring and stuff, but he was, in this movie, he was actually, like, he had a lot of emotion, and he was actually, like, funny most of the time. And he was, like, this is definitely my favorite performance ever by Benedict Cumberbatch. And definitely, like, one of the first movies that I actually, like, really like by him and everything. So yeah, so Benedict Cumberbatch was definitely worth it, and he was a very good Doctor Strange. I don't really know anybody that could have really played him better. But also, like, just the overall movie, I was pretty surprised with it, because, it was actually way better than I thought. Like, again, I said I thought it was going to be, like, boring and all that stuff, but it was actually really, really good, and I would definitely recommend it. And after Civil War still, I'm not saying it's like, so Civil War is my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, and my favorite Marvel movie overall, unless if you count Deadpool, because that's, owned by, like, Fox and stuff, but it is Deadpool, so technically Deadpool is. But Civil War is technically my second favorite Marvel movie and all that, in Marvel Cinematic Universe and everything. But Doctor Strange, I was actually really surprised. I thought I wasn't gonna, like, want to buy it on DVD, but I actually really liked it, and surprisingly, I actually like it. It's definitely my second favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. I'm not saying my second favorite movie or anything, but definitely just after Captain America Civil War, just after Captain America Civil War, Doctor Strange is definitely my second favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. And it was just really, really good, and the fight scenes were, like, just really, really great, and it was, like, just really directed really well and everything. So, yeah, so I would definitely I would definitely recommend it. And kind of the final things I want to say is I will pretty much most likely be buying it on DVD, but as I said earlier in this vlog, it's probably not going to come out on DVD until about, like, February 2017. So whenever it does, there will be, like, a video where I will show that I got it on DVD, but we don't have to worry about that for now, because it just went into theaters yesterday. Yeah, if you have not seen Doctor Strange, I would definitely recommend it. I believe I rated Captain America Civil War a 10 on IMDb, since, like, it's up here and everything. Doctor Strange, since I liked it just after that, I'll probably be rating it either an 8 or a 9 on IMDb. And, yeah, so I'm gonna go type up my review on my computer upstairs and email it to the guy at the Great Falls Tribune, and that will hopefully be in since I can probably get it done by tonight, and get it emailed by tonight, that will probably be in Monday's paper, so I'll be excited for that, my first real story or anything in the Great Falls Tribune paper. And yeah, and the last thing I want to say on it is it's, like, I was amazed with the special effects and everything, so whoever, like the CGI creators and the editors and everything of Doctor Strange, in my opinion, are the best CGI and special effects people I have ever seen, and I've just never seen anything like as crazy as that in any movie. But like it was just crazy because like for like the things with like the whips coming out of people's hands and like the hand like magic stuff like that, like we've seen that before and like that was still pretty cool. But it's just like we've kind of seen that before. But, like, the twisting cities and everything, like, we've only really seen that with Inception, but even on that, like, I haven't seen it, but, like, from what I've seen, it doesn't look like they're, like, completely twisting around. It just kind of looks like they're, like, forming, like, walls and just turning into boxes and stuff. But, like, on this movie, there's, like, towers splitting in half, and then there's, like, people stopping, and then there's, like, cities, like, getting destroyed and then rewinding and then putting them back, and then, like, it was just really crazy, and just New York City completely was just like looking through a gyroscope, and it was just New York City like towards the end, but right before the final battle was just completely twisting around, and it was just like a DNA stream or whatever, and it was just crazy, and it would definitely probably make you sick if you saw it in 3D, but because I didn't, but yeah, so CGI and the CGI and special effects people, you guys did great with Doctor Strange, and the twisting cities and just twisting objects and buildings and everything was just insane. So yeah, so definitely like the best CGI and special effects I've probably ever seen. And yeah, so that's pretty much all I wanted to say on Doctor Strange. Kaecilius is a pretty good enemy. He's not like the best, but he is pretty great. And yeah, all the characters are really, really good. And I really enjoyed it. I was pretty much enjoying it the whole way through. I didn't really get bored at any points because they have like just the right amount of talking and just all that stuff in the action. So it was really good. And yeah, so I was very impressed by it. So I'll be buying that on DVD, but that's for the future. And yeah, so that is finally it for this video. If you guys watched all the way through this, you were like insane. But I doubt any of you are, but even if you just skipped through just to see the parts that you wanted to or anything, thank you so much, or even if you watched it or anything, thank you guys so much. Make sure, yeah, so I'm going to go type up my review, and yeah, Doctor Strange, I would definitely recommend it. It was a pretty great movie, and yeah, and the after credit scenes were pretty important, some of the most important after credit scene I've ever seen in a Marvel movie, and there's one right after the main credits, and then there's one right after the second credits, and the first one's more just like somewhat humor, and it but it does link to Thor Ragnarok. But the second one you definitely need to stay for, because it links to like Doctor Strange 2 or any of that stuff, and it's actually probably the most important Marvel after credit scene ever. So yeah, so definitely stay for both of the after credit scenes. You do have to sit there for about like 7 extra minutes, but it's definitely worth it. So yeah, so I'm gonna go type my review. Thanks for watching if you are still watching. And yeah, finally, that is it for this episode. I will see you all next time. And yeah, so I'll see you all later. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you all later.